Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey, do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. Hey, do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the pod, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo.
How did you do that still?
When it comes to the Kings, that's my
because I'm used to being in hell.
You literally came into the car going, sorry, I was just tearing up a little. And now, like, talk about a roller coaster of emotions. Hi.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Let's go, Kings.
Oh my God, Morgan. Imagine for a second, Morgan, and audience, imagine if I would have told you in April 2023, hey, you just lost Game 7 to the Golden State Warriors. You think Steph going for 50 was bad? Well, buckle the fuck up. Because in 2 years, you're coach of the year? Your executive of the year? De'Aaron Fox? All gone. And guess what? You will not make the playoffs anytime soon. For the 18th time in 19 years, the Sacramento Kings are missing the playoffs. It was 2 years ago. We just want, hey, give us 4 or 5 years, just fun.
Stop even asking for 4. How about just like 2?
2? Get me back to back.
Like, that's all. Like, don't get greedy. 2.
And we're back. Back to a place where I did not anticipate we would be going. In less than 2 years. You need a new coach. You need a new GM. You are starting all over. It's insane. And you want to have Mavs fans cry about Luka, and I feel for them.
Absolutely.
I feel. You had Luka. We didn't. We could have.
And not only like you had Luka, like you still have like promising pieces in a roster that like leads into what today's NBA needs with length and size along the perimeter. And on the inside, yeah, you got to make your tweaks. But like, I wish I ran out of Sentivo wines. And I'm drinking this stupid beer.
(24-25) Sacramento Kings. The Beam Team. Rest in peace.
Keeps going. We get it. We get it. Misery. Thanks, Jim.
Jim Johnson, everyone.
Johnston.
Look, we'll talk about tonight's game. The Kings and Monte McNair mutually agreed to part ways, so the Kings will be looking for a new front office. Who knows about the coach? You would assume a new coach as well. And where the hell do you go from here? The Kings season is all over. Losing is an understatement tonight. Beat down by the Dallas Mavericks 120-106.
Embarrassing.
I mean, we're just starting the pod. We're just starting right now.
Yeah.
We don't
some
need.
fucking- No one cares.
They tell you what they know.
We don't know anything.
We don't know shit anymore. We don't know. You can tell this pod is gonna be sad. We're gonna be upset. We're gonna scream. We're gonna laugh. We're not gonna cry.
Because Deuce already did.
I didn't cry, dude.
You said you were.
I said I felt like I was gonna tear up. I didn't say teared up.
You sounded like it when you came
Here's
into the
my
car,
thing,
too.
dude. Here's my thing with tonight. I guess we can hit on the game, but the Kings need a new GM too. So, I mean, this is where we're at. I mean, 5 seconds after the game, I shouldn't say 5 seconds after the game, walking back to my car after doing post game on TV, and you get the alert from Sam Amick that says that Monte McNair and the Kings have mutually agreed to part ways. So that's where we're at with the Sacramento Kings after what was, no doubt about it, a beyond disappointing season, and a season that even I think the most pessimistic probably doesn't think it would have gone this way entirely, where we reach the end of the season, the Kings getting just slapped around in the play-in game by the Dallas Mavericks. Fox is gone, McNair's out, Brown's out. It's insane. It's insane. Now you go, where? I mean, you can't run it back with this team. So we got to talk about that. We got to talk about tonight's game where I just was beyond disappointed with the Kings today. I mean, Dallas deserves a ton of love. Where do we start with the game?
Second quarter?
44-19 in the second quarter. The Kings had 10 turnovers in the second quarter. A team that I know they're still trying to get to know each other, no point guard. Sure, we can come up with the reasons. Some of these turnovers were just like, what? Like, as if they hadn't played together before. Dallas' defense, fantastic in this game. The Mavs were awesome. And this is some of the stuff we were concerned about going into the game is how were the Kings going to handle the Dallas size and length? Well, they're going to have to push the pace. Well, the Kings could not get a stop to save their lives, so they were taking the ball from underneath a lot, still didn't push enough, even off of Dallas makes, except really in that first quarter. And Dallas absolutely controlled the entire game. Absolutely controlled it. Sabonis in a massive game was a complete letdown. 11 points, 5 turnovers. Zach LaVine in a massive game. He ends up with 20, but he also had 5 turnovers. He was bottled up all night. Najee Marshall
Fantastic job.
was like a Snuggie. Like he was wrapped in.
Snuggie.
I don't know. Is that the right word? I don't know. He had him in a sleeping bag and it was tied real tight.
Okay.
He couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, Snuggie works.
Sure. No,
Just
because that's comfortable.
Well,
So
unless you like get all caught up and it wraps up and it's like suffocating.
all I know is I saw a Dallas team that I know has gotten a lot of people talking because of the Luka trade. But the one thing I said after that trade was in the short term, I actually kind of like it because I think defensively that'd be really good. Now, I was saying that when Kyrie Irving was there, they didn't have a point guard tonight, a traditional one. Dante Exum played a massive role, though, coming off the bench, sent shit up. I thought Dallas's defense was fantastic, and they have what you want in today's game. They play lineups where everybody can switch 1 through 5. Their bigs can step up and contest on the perimeter. They're helping with each other. They've got length. They've got rim protection. Then up front, when you've got guys like PJ Washington who have length, they might not be the best defensive player, but they can take chances because they've got the back line behind them. They have literally everything that the Kings could possibly want. Size, physicality, athleticism, rim protection. The Kings have like one guy who can do that in Keegan Murray, and then a defensive hawk in Keon Ellis.
Yeah.
I said a lot. I don't know. I'm just.
It's okay. I'm used to it. I mean, you pretty much just said everything instead of talking just
I should have just talked to you.
specifically. Yeah. Instead of, yeah. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay because then it's not a conversation. Yeah. It's not even worth breaking down what the fuck happened in the second quarter. It really is overall, just like you said, what this team is, how the Kings played against this team. You can give the Mavs as much love and credit as you want, in how they've been able to play better basketball together with healthy players, not healthy players, not even on the floor. Like, there's just been inconsistencies for them as well. The Kings have a lot of those things in common, right? With the health and adversity throughout the year within the organization. Your fans fucking hate you, but not the players, but just like the organization. And you don't have that true point guard, but you could tell what team really lacked some of those qualities in a point guard tonight. You could tell what team really lacked, their defensive ability. You could tell what team lacked length, size, all the things. How many times have we felt good having Jonas Valanciunas come off the bench and even seeing like the two bigs in there and feeling more confident in what the Kings can do? And then looking at the Mavs and being like, their guard play, it's fine. You just got to make sure, like, Klay Thompson isn't the same player. Just make sure to slow him down. Oh, he's getting things going. He's feeling a revenge game, and he's doing all of it in that second quarter, deflating the F out of you.
He had 16 of his 23 points in that second quarter.
Yeah, and it's like, I thought Devin Carter started doing a better job when he came in on him or whatever. But then I would see like a screen be thrown. I forget who Zach LaVine was guarding, and Zach was trying to put, I think it could have been Exum, whatever. But he tried pushing Carter like back to Exum, who ended up going in down the middle for a floater when really he just needed to navigate the screen better. And Devin's like, I'm doing my one job. My one job is to make sure that this guy doesn't F with us. Like, everyone else needs to do their job. And nobody was doing their job as a team. Turnovers, I felt like they weren't controlling what they could control. It wasn't even like the defense and the long arms that every single time that were screwing with them, it was just
like passes off
play.
target in the two-man game. Like LaVine and Sabonis.
God.
LaVine trying to get a pass to Sabonis, and it's like ahead of him, and Sabonis can't track it down out of bounds. Sabonis had some bad turnovers too on an exchange with LaVine. There's just miscommunications left and right on that end. And something I wanted to bring up too, you talk about Klay getting going. Keon got hung up on screens, right? But and this is what's challenging. When you have a team that is built where you've got like let's just say you've got 4 good defenders on your team. I think Keegan's a really good defender. I think Keon's a really good defender. I think Devin has that ability. Yeah. Like, we've seen it.
Sure.
And Jake LaRavia, who did not play tonight. But my point is, I got Keon trying to navigate screens with Anthony Davis in the 2-man game, okay? So he's trying to chase Klay Thompson around. When he gets hung up, whose job is it to try to step up? Well, it's Sabonis, but is Sabonis going to like step up on Klay Thompson? He should, but he didn't because he's worried about AD and they have no backline help. So there's no trust, there's no athleticism, there's no versatility. So it was simple basketball. Clay's like, okay, Klay is just going to send he's just going to set a screen for me, and I'm going to move off the ball, and the guard's going to find me, and I'm going to step into a three, even if it's slightly contested. And it's like, yeah, Keon was technically guarding Klay, but this is where you have a good team defense. Where tonight, here's a great example on the other side of this, where LaVine is going in to a horn set, 2 bigs up. Well, actually, I don't even think it was 2 bigs up. I think it was like Sabonis, maybe Ellis up.
Okay.
Either way, AD and Gafford were like playing off. And AD just was able to step up because he's long, athletic, and contested the shot.
And just take up enough room and disrupt.
LaVine decides not to shoot it. Then he tries to force a pass turnover.
Well, not only that, with like you talk about that in the horn set, still talking about the Kings offense, even when they were going in some of the 2-man game, right? Like, sure, you'd feel that perimeter pressure from the Mavs defense, but I always felt like even in the 2-man game when you finally got that pocket pass and you got it to Sabonis. So let's say it was Levine to Sabonis. It never was going anywhere. It was never making the impact of like leading them to the basket, leading them down the paint. It was just a pocket pass to get out of whatever mess that you had, if you had a double come at you or whatever. And so then the next person, the second line of defense, whatever for the Mavs, was already there. And so, yeah, again, love to the defense, but there was no adjustment to even to that. How come, why not just in the 2-man game pop out then? You know, if that double's going to be there and the second line of defense is there, then pop out and pop out wide. So then you're not getting a pocket pass back into a big and in the paint, but instead you're getting maybe a mid-range shot. Maybe you're getting like a wing 3, whatever. There was just not enough adjustments.
And then even someone like DeRozan, who ends up with 33 in this game, but he took 28 shots to get 33 points, 13 of 28, so slightly below 50. I admire the fact that he came out and was like, dude, Levine and Sabonis are completely bottled up here. Let me get my shit going. But he couldn't hunt mismatches because the good teams, there's no one to hunt. All right. When I watch Oklahoma City, I'm like, who you hunting? Like, good luck. Like, I guess Hartenstein every once in a while, right? But like there's sometimes there's lineups out there that you can't really hunt. You know, think about some of the better defensive teams in this league, Dallas being one of them, Oklahoma City, as I mentioned, Houston has some of those lineups too. And the Kings, they're going hunting against a team where there's no, who do you hunt? All of a sudden it's like, oh, I got DeRozan's going one-on-one with Lively. Oh, Derek Lively can move.
Yeah.
He can move his feet and he's long, you know, like Gafford
can recover.
can move. AD can. So it's like not your traditional situation where, hey, I got a big on me. Maybe there's going to be help. Or they can't hunt a smaller guy because there's no smaller guy to hunt.
Yeah. Again, these are, I mean, how many times are we talking about some of these things in a loss? And think about us when we previewed this game and we watched some of the Clippers Mavs.
Yeah.
And it was just a sample size of like all the guys that were actually playing on the floor together tonight. And what we saw was like, AD doesn't want to run. Like, go, push.
And in the first quarter, we saw a little bit of that when the Kings had, believe it or not, the Kings actually were up in this game. They were up 29-27 after one. Can you believe that?
They were.
It was shocking news.
They were up then, but then also in the third, they outscored the Mavs in the third quarter as well. And I say that because it was like they found ways to still score when they weren't playing great basketball, but when they were playing great basketball, they were up. Obviously, it was early on in the game. Mavs made adjustments, but like we've seen the Kings make adjustments back and still push the ball and do that. And they just felt, I didn't feel like it was an effort thing. I just felt like the focus leaned in the Mavs'
They're
favor.
just overmatched.
Yeah,
it's the same shit we've been talking about for a long time. And shout out to the others for the Mavericks tonight because we mentioned AD with 27. He was 9 of 23, not super efficient, but Clay was monstrous, 23 points. PJ added 17. He got to the free throw line, which was very good for him. He was inefficient, but it was their bench. Exum was huge. And I think some people were talking so much about Dallas not having like a point guard in this team, but you know, Exum's been in and out of the lineup.
Sure.
Exum's more than capable of handling the rock. And he showed that tonight. He comes off the Dallas bench and played with pop, played with physicality. 11 points. He had 6 dimes on 4-4 shooting. Then you add someone like Brandon Williams, who in 17 minutes scored 17 points and had 5 assists in this game. And talk about, he was 3 of 4 from downtown. And there were some bad closeouts on him too. And Brandon Williams, talk about a guy, like this guy was on a 2-way deal. He was on a 2-way deal. He's been grinding, trying to make it in the league. Finally got a full-time contract like in April from Dallas, getting some opportunity late. And he's showing you what kind of talent he has. And he came in tonight, and it's like, you're going to let me get some clean looks from 3? Oh, I'll take them. You're going to have a weak-ass closeout. It's a winner-go-home game, and you're closing out like into practice? Bang. So shout out to the others for the Dallas Mavericks. They won 120-106. Let's take a big step back here for a second.
Big step back.
Monte McNair was let go today. We'll talk about that. Look ahead to the Sacramento Kings like offseason with huge looming questions. The problems we're talking about tonight, the athleticism, the lack of rim protection, defense, these are not new issues, right? These are not new.
Not for years.
For years.
It's not like
stuff.
this season.
The rest of the league, the rest of like the good team, they figured it out. Like Boston, switchable. Mm-hmm. And they play offense, right? Dallas, they're still trying to navigate things post Luka. But you see the talent and toughness there. OKC, Houston, these teams guard. Golden State guard. They had Jimmy Butler. All of a sudden, everybody's guarding. Like Pajemski comes in there. You know, you've got Guy Santos coming in making hustle. Everyone guards. And unfortunately, in Sacramento, this was so much like the theme is like, hey, we don't have a lot of size, and we also don't have rim protection at the center spots. That's not good. So these are some of the like I guess tonight shouldn't be a surprise by any means, right? But it's just more the frustration of like this is where we're at, and there's not a lot of reason to be optimistic, right? Like to me tonight, I know some people are super excited that Monte McNair is no longer the GM, and that change and. Yeah, because that means like change is literally coming. You're going to have a new front office, hopefully with some newer ideas, some different takes, whatever. But like, this is not, to me, a celebration tonight. Because 2 years ago, that guy won Executive of the Year. 2 years ago, you had a Coach of the Year. 2 years ago, people were talking about you like, what are this young, fun, up-and-coming team? They play fast. They move the ball. And not only was it not like different 2 years later, I mean, a year later was completely different. Last year was a completely different vibe and team. And so it's just, as someone who was born and raised in Sacramento, who like lives and dies with this shit and experienced some of the good times, the very rare good times in this franchise's 40-year history. Yeah. To see this now and to be so uncertain about what lies ahead is extremely disheartening, frustrating, all the emotions, I know it's like you're used to it, but it still hurts.
We're not naive to things happen fast, things change fast in the NBA and in professional sports. Like totally not naive to that. I think where the issue lies within whether our emotions or maybe a lot of people are feeling the same way is that after so much bad basketball, losing years, a player that was a toxic cancer to the team, but was the best player on the team for so many years in the past. And then you finally find some youth, but then you can't figure it out. And then finally you have a season with a new coach and it goes in a really nice direction and you make the playoffs. Like it's just like a holy shit year, situation, feeling, everything. The city was just lighting up. People were coming together. And I guess from there, even if you didn't feel like it was going to go up in championship next year or second round of playoffs the next year or whatever, you still felt like it was something to grow off of. And like you have it there. And it's like climbing up a pole and then you're almost there, or a rope or whatever, and you're about to touch the top, but you've 2 steps down and you're like, okay, now my arms are tired. Now what I do? Okay, the next season's coming. Like you're going to figure it out. Oh, and then you get rope burn and you slide down the rope even further and just everything's even more painful and it feels more out of reach. I don't know why I use that scenario.
Yeah, because I'm like, have you ever climbed a fucking rope in your life? When was the last time you're more with
like 8th grade?
Oh, okay, so it stuck with you.
And my hands burned.
Yeah, Morgan, I think year one with that group, the 48-win season that we all love because it was like one the come up. It was such a surprise that not only were they good, but there was like, oh my god, the 3 seed in a year the West was kind of down, but they still were fun. They played base level, played a fun style. They won games, brought excitement back to life. It felt like they went like, okay, year one, we did it. How do we go from that to championship? And it's like, no, we we get championship mentality. We always want to win a championship, but also like, hey, like it takes some time. Like let's not be realistic here. Like, why are we trying to swing for the fences right now? Where it's like, hey, let's collaborate and figure out what really needs to happen to take us to another level. Not like we got to go from here to all the way to here next year. And it felt like the pressure, whether it was from the top, and if it was from the top, bleeds down to everybody else. And then everyone's playing tight. And then you go through adversity and it's like, oh, we got to fire the coach. Oh, we got to do this. It's like, no. Remember what Spoelstra had to say when Mike Brown got fired about like how they've handled change
Yes.
in Miami over the years.
They get to the locker room.
And his quote was perfect on it. He was talking about after Mike Brown got fired, he said somebody on our staff mentioned that it was almost 15 coaches in Sacramento since Spoelstra's been the head coach. They've had some really good head coaches come through there. Mike and I go all the way back to the beginning. We were both video coordinators. He's a great coach. What they did there is really hard to do. If you've been losing for 15, 20 years since Rick Adelman was there, and to change the culture and make the playoffs, you stick with it. Some of our best moments have been when we've lost and we struggle with things, and then you all get in the room, and basically the organization says, figure it the F out. There are no changes. So I feel for Mike. Having gone through that, he was the same guy who won Coach of the Year less than 24 months ago. The league is hard. You have to go through adversity together as an entire organization if you're going to break through and get to the other side. But yeah, that sucks. That stuck with me. That stuck with me because it's true. You have one good year. You go through some bumps. You got one good year of marriage. Oh, and then there's some arguments. Divorce. What? No, you figure it out. We're a team. We stick together. We pull the same direction.
Or you just you attempt. Here's the thing: you attempt to figure out. Like you make moves to not make just irrational, quick decisions, right? Like you got to try to collaborate and grow together. And sometimes that growth will be stunted, or something bad will happen, and you walk away. Totally understood. But that's why I've always preached patience over the years, even through the bad years, even through like Luke Walton years where I was just like, no, just have a little patience with this. I was more it wasn't like I believed in him as a head coach or certain players on the roster. I believed in certain things tweaking and growing together. And then you make your bigger decisions as you grow. But then it's like, there's just times where that growth isn't there, and the pressure is just, it's on, and it's just, it really sucks. And it really sucks.
And now you have to hire a new front office.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel for someone like Doug Christie tonight, who took over as the interim head coach in a situation that's so tough. Like, Doug Christie, I've known for a long time, great guy, and he genuinely he's hurting tonight because he really wants what's best for this team. He literally believes he had unfinished business here because of that 2002 team that caused him so much pain because he could not bring a championship to Sacramento. It's not a bullshit, corny thing. Like, he feels this. He wants it just as much as we all do, and everyone who listens and watches games on a consistent basis does. This guy, to me, was asked to do the impossible. I said when Mike Brown got fired, I'm like, well, they punted the season. That's tough. And he got it back under control at one point, right after the firing. But Mike Brown was leading a staff full of Mike Brown guys. Excuse me, Doug Christie was leading a staff full of Mike Brown guys. That's the other thing. Doug Christie wasn't a Mike Brown guy, and he was put on the staff. And so there's like, it's weirdness. So here's my great advice I have.
Oh, you have advice.
For anybody who runs an NBA team, because I'm going to stick to basketball for a second. You hire a front office.
Okay.
Hire a front office.
Okay.
And give them all the resources possible. Trust you. Believe you have a vision. Cool. I'm going to ask questions. Cool. Go do your shit. You've got the resources you need. Hire whoever you need to hire to fill out the roster. We need analytics people, great scouting, everything, okay? Guess what? There's no salary cap when it comes to a front office. Hire and trust. Then that front office, and it could be in collaboration with ownership.
Sure.
That front office finds the next head coach of the team. And they're on the same page.
Yeah.
And then that next head
Same
coach.
page.
That next head coach hires his staff or her staff.
Yep.
Bring their staff in. That
Amen.
coach gets their people in. And that, to me, is the bottom line. Everyone on the same page and being together. You know, you go back to even, I think back when the Monte McNair was hired, like he took over, Luke Walton was still the head coach. It was like, okay, well, you know how this is going to go. Like, Luke Walton is not a Monte McNair guy. He's probably going to be gone a year. Sure enough, he was gone. This, puke guy happens, gone. Right? So, like, this is the type of stuff that I'm saying. And it's like, look, as an owner, you spend a shit ton of money. especially the one, like some of the new ones, like the guy who just bought the team in Boston, $6 billion.
No big deal.
You're going to have say. Like Steve Ballmer has a tremendous amount of say. But Steve Ballmer is like, I'm giving you all the resources. I'm going to ask the tough questions, but I'm going to support you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to challenge you too.
Yeah.
But ultimately go do your thing. I'm going to hire the best possible people. I'm going to instill an organization that is positive, that has growth, where everyone's together. There's no weird infighting. And you go find a way to get through it. Clippers are a great example. Think about the Clippers front office and what they've had to deal with. It doesn't mean they haven't made changes, the Doc Rivers thing that may work out or whatever.
Sure.
But like they tried with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George and that group. Most people would say tremendous failure. Most of the people who are involved in that are still there.
Most.
Ty Lue's still there.
Mm-hmm.
The front office is still there for now.
Yep.
But they pivot. It's just like supposed to say you pivot. Like, hey, like because you're not gonna bat 1,000 in this profession. The NBA is too hard. There's bad luck that happens. Paul George injured, Kawhi injured. There's just circumstances that maybe are out of your control. Oh, and by the way, you're just gonna get shit wrong. You're gonna like make a draft pick that's bad. You're gonna make a bad trade. You're gonna make a bad free agent signing. But how do you bounce back from it? And that's all I'm asking for. Is like you got to have the patience, but you can ask the tough questions, but ultimately go pay for a good front office that you and put your trust in them. Let them cook. Let them cook. Just like Morgan Reagan just let me cook for the last 5 minutes as I ranted on this. It's something.
Oh,
we said the same thing when Vladdy was out. We said the same thing. All right, let them cook. Let them cook. That's always going to be the challenge that gets in the way, is if you do not have a culture built on that.
well, and you mentioned the timeline of things too, of the pecking order or the order that people should be hired and who should be hiring who. And it's just, and it's not like, oh, because that's just how people do it over the years. It's because that, like, if you really analyze it and break it down, like, it makes sense, right? And it makes sense too when there needs to be blame on somebody too, for mistakes that they made, whether it's picking out a head coach or picking out a roster full of guys or a piece or two that don't make sense. It's, again, it's not just about, it's just like you said, it's about collaborating, and it's collaborating is so huge. You think about the best teams in this league and why they play some team basketball. OKC, just on the floor, just on the floor.
Well,
I'm not even talking about their organization for a second, really quick. Just on the floor, the way that they play together with so much joy, together. We always talk about their togetherness.
And I'm glad you brought up OKC, because I've seen someone in the chat, I think it's God to be with you, is saying that Deuce kind of underestimates how hard it is to build in a small market like Sacramento. Oh, yes, it's definitely a challenge. Oklahoma City.
Yep.
Oklahoma City. And what does Oklahoma City have?
Patience.
Sam Presti has been running the show since the final year of that team being in Seattle.
Consistency, continuity.
And nailed draft picks. And guess what? He's gotten things wrong too. He hasn't been perfect, but more times than not, he gets the right guys.
Yep.
They develop.
They'll
trade. They'll make the tough decisions. Right? They'll trade. They traded Domantas Sabonis and Victor Oladipo to get Paul George. And then that was in the post-KD era, right? They eventually traded Russell Westbrook. I think that's an easy decision to make when the guys won an MVP, done everything, homegrown player. No, they make tough decisions. Then you had the Paul George trade again for SGA and picks.
Yeah.
So, and guess what? Has he gotten lucky too? Yes. But if there's any proof that a small market that doesn't have all the resources in the world, right? They don't have, at this point, they're building a new arena. They don't have the best facility.
Yeah.
They don't actually have the most money either.
You just have to do it different.
Yeah.
Like it's not apples for apples around the league. You know, not everyone's going to be in New York and, all the free agents want to come here to the Lakers, whatever. It's, you pivot and you don't do it like everyone else. And you figure out your own recipe, your own way of doing it. But at the end of the day, your own way of doing it, usually when you are going to be in a small market, it's going to take patience. It's going to take collaborating. It's going to take just things being done the right way with mistakes along the way. And these people are human. You're going to make mistakes, just like you said.
I just think, as someone who's been, like I said, in Sacramento my entire life, and the people who listen to this podcast, we're just over drama, man. It's hard to get excited about like a front office change or it's just hard. Like even some people who are excited about like a draft pick, like I get less. It's hard for me to be excited because of the misses.
I know, but what?
Although
What?
breaking news at this hour.
Here we go.
Bobby Marks saying there is a scenario that if Dallas and Miami win on Friday, Sacramento could retain their first. They need a lot to happen. Okay. So go Dallas and go Miami.
See, and this is Deuce in a nutshell. And it's like it's the same thing. Like I know it's hard to get excited about things, but one thing I do know about you, and this is 100% true, you do still get excited for hope. It's the same thing. It's the same thing when there is, over the years, it would be more like a two-way guy or a second round pick, and you just get excited about their intensity, their dog, blah, 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 whatever. And we're like, what can they bring to that? And then it turns out to be nothing, right? And then there's times where it's just like, it's not even so much, it's like Sasha Vezenkov. And that was more going off of what everyone else was saying about him and seeing what he was doing in the EuroLeague. And then you still feel that same type of hope. Bust, it doesn't work out, whatever. You can still get excited about different things and be hopeful. But just remember this feeling right now, because it's like the same thing with Monte McNair. I'm sure we were excited about Monte McNair, especially after Vlade and everything.
Guess what? An NBA team is going to scoop up Monte McNair right away. And I don't think you could say that about your previous general managers.
No.
Vlade didn't get another job after that. He's not working in a front office. Pete D'Alessandro took a business job in the Denver Nuggets front office. Now he is with Orlando's. He's been there for a while. But like, sorry, like Jeff Petrie before that, Jeff Petrie hasn't worked in the league since. And he was a very accomplished general manager for a long time in the NBA. My point is like Monty is not like a bad basketball guy. Did he bat 1,000? No, but guess what? He did a playoff drought. This team had not had success like this, which is not saying a lot in the 40-year history of this team. But like, yeah, he took some swings for sure.
Yeah.
And like, I don't, and I'm sure we're going to hear more and more about what he didn't want to do. Like, I mean, Sam Amick had the story, a few weeks or about a month ago that like, he wasn't the one that wanted to let go of Mike Brown. Like, okay, like that's the type of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And by the way, going on that front for a second, if that's the case, then fine. Anything you do, any decision you make, even if you don't think it's a popular one that's going to win headlines, say it with your chest. In some ways, like Nico Harrison, I got to be honest, I don't agree with him. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with how he handled the Luka thing. And I don't agree with some of the things he's saying about like and how he's treating the Mavs fans. But I'll tell you what, this guy, to his core, says it with his chest. We made this trade because we believe defense wins championships.
Yes. Everything.
It's like, okay, then if you're gonna say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Hey, Josh Kroenke the other day, right after they fire Michael Malone and Calvin Booth, days before the regular season, sits down, talks to the media, says it with you have to say it with your chest, even if you don't believe it's the right. It's not going to be popular.
And by the way, you don't have to talk shit about them to also prove your point. Like the Suns, for example, in their statement when they let Bud go, it was just more like this isn't part of our standards. It's like, well, also the roster constructed is also not going to lead to success. But sure, like put the blame on the coach. Say it with your chest. But also, like, don't lie to the smart people out there, too, that follow all this shit. Yeah. So you can double down, do what you need to do. People can have their opinions, but say it with your chest.
I want to say this. I appreciate all the basketball sickos who are hanging out with us tonight after the Kings season has come to an end. 120-106 to the Dallas Mavericks. I'm sure there's plenty of Kings fans watching and probably some asshole NBA fans. Like, let's go check in with the clowns in Sacramento.
Appreciate you.
Are they lighting off the fog tonight? The people that are probably clowning us a little bit. Fine. Yes, I lied. Fog goes off when the Kings win. And was I feeling optimistic? Yeah. In my head, did I believe I was getting on a flight tomorrow at 8:30 to head to Memphis? Yeah, I did. I did.
Oh, dude.
At one
And by
point.
the way, and so many super chats to get to as well.
Yeah. But I did want to say real fast.
What?
Massive audience. One thing you could do to help us, our channel grow, because we're going to be doing Kings content, new front office, new coaching stuff probably. Who the hell knows what happens? Ton of content on our YouTube page, but also NBA content during the playoffs. We're basketball sickos. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Hitting the thumbs up just helps us grow, and it means a lot.
Thank you guys. What was I going to say? God
Sorry.
damn it. No, it's okay.
Can I, while you think about it, can I read Shams' piece on Monte McNair being out, see if there's any new nuggets?
Yeah. Can I check on the dog to make sure he's
Yes.
not dead? Because that would be a shitty way to end the
Okay,
night.
can I just say, if you come back here right now and say to my face, Carlin is dead,
What would you do?
I of course he is. Of course he is. Why would you even say that? Oh my God. Okay, the story from Shams, by the way, Monte McNair is out as GM. We know that decision was made after the two sides reached a mutual agreement. The Kings season ended with a 120-106 home loss Wednesday night to the Mavs. McNair spent 5 seasons running the Kings, winning NBA Executive of the Year in 2023 when Sacramento went 48-34, blah, 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 blah. The Kings have won 40 or more games in 3 straight seasons under McNair's leadership. Before this streak, they had not won 40 games in any season since 05 or 06. The Kings had a .488 win percentage under McNair. From 06 to 07, before McNair took over, the franchise had a .362 win percentage, the second worst in the NBA during that span. Oh, it's all numbers that I know, but also I love that, like, one of the things that Shams is championing in this piece is, dude, McNair had a .488 win percentage. That's how low the standards are in Sacramento. Under 500, but man, dude, it's way better than that .362 win percentage they had before him. Insane. How are we looking? Okay, that's not funny.
No, it's not. He's alive.
Don't do that.
I'm just going to say, well, because we have to wait anyway. Because there was some sort of like hardening thing from the house being
Okay.
something in the bathroom that was like getting fixed. And he was chewing on something that was like some sort of like cream that hardens like stucco or grout or something. So I don't know how much he ate of it. But anyway, we'll just monitor. But he's alive right now. I just had a weird feeling. I think he'll be fine. If he starts vomiting, then we'll just monitor. But he looks happy.
He looks happy.
I had a feeling it wasn't even, I know. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, someone said caulking. There we go. It's something like that.
Yep. You want to hear a little Doug Christie from tonight, Morgan?
Yeah, and he's right behind us. See? Alive.
Carlin, dude, why?
Because he's hungry.
Such an idiot.
Kidding.
Dude. All right,
Okay.
let's hear a little how Doug Christie reacted after the Kings season ended tonight at the hands of the Dallas Mavericks. Here's what he had to say after the game in the loss.
Outcome that we were looking for. One quarter gets away. 10 turnovers in that quarter, just unacceptable. It's been a lot, and like I told the guys, they've grown in a lot of ways. I appreciate them. I appreciate the organization. I appreciate our fan base for the opportunity to stand on the sideline and represent us. It's not the way that you want to end, but only one team at the end is standing there. So this is my first time in this position to feel this way without a jersey on, and it's not a good feeling. I'm not about that life, so yeah.
Yeah, Doug, what was your total message to the guys after the game, and where did it feel like this thing slipped away there in the second quarter?
I mean, you just can't throw the ball all around the gym, man. I mean, all of a sudden, we just lost our mind, and just the ball started going all over the place, and before you know it, I mean, the first quarter, it was like everything that we talked about, everything that they saw was right there. They played with pace. It wasn't a crazy quarter, up by 2, but the flow of the quarter was more to our liking and the things that we had discussed and talked about. In the second quarter, not only turnovers, but live ball turnovers, like downhill. They played it, and I told them in the huddle, like they are playing the exact way that I described that we need to play. Fast, aggressive, downhill, punch them in the mouth, and make the ref make a call. And that's exactly what they did. They did it for one quarter. The rest of the game was ours. They did it for one quarter. But in this league, you can't allow that. You can't allow Klay Thompson to see one go in. You can't allow those things to happen. So, yeah.
Doug, DeMar just talked about like how difficult of a season this was, but and you touched on it briefly as well. But throughout your entire career as a player and a coach, how are you able to rank this amongst one of them tough seasons you dealt with?
I mean, for me, it's player, whatever, coach, announcer, fan. I've never seen anything like it. I talked to Jay Triano, and I was like, "You ever seen anything like this, Jay?" And he said, "Yeah, when I was in Phoenix." And then I started listening to things that happened here, and he was like, "Well, you got me there." And I was like, "Yeah, I've it's just a lot." I mean, when there's all of a sudden you have 5 different teams in a 40-day span. But listen, this is the nature of the job. It's the nature of what we do. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody checking for us. So you got to buckle up and you got to figure it out. That's what it is. I mean, this organization, this city deserves a championship. It is what it is. I mean, it's going to happen. And when it happens, it's going to be one of those moments that there'll probably be a lot of memes because it's going to be real funny then. Ha ha.
Doug, I guess to follow up on that, obviously this season has taken a toll on all you guys, and you've kind of taken the brunt of a lot of that stuff. Like, how much do you want this job going forward? What kind of reassurances or anything like that have you been given, and what do you expect that process to look like in the days or weeks to come?
Yeah, none. But yeah, this is where I want to be. I think you guys know that. I need to finish what I started, and that's the only reason that I ever even stepped onto the sideline from where I was at initially. Because I had to exercise some demons for myself, but more than anything is when you hear the narratives that are written by people who are not here and just have random stuff to say, it irks me because they don't know. It's an incredible fan base. It's an incredible organization, and when it's right and you're going around beating the hell out of people, not a lot of people got a lot to say then. But when you're getting your butt beat, they got a lot to say, and I feel you. But when that tide turns and the rabbit got the gun, then we'll see.
You're kind of obviously alluding to your own unknown future here, but it feels like there's a lot of question marks in the air entering the offseason. How comfortable are you with kind of if there was a decision to bring a lot of this core back also with yourself, that this group can be kind of back?
I mean, when you talk roster construction, there's a lot there. I mean, you got to have a point guard in this league. There's a lot of different things. So that question, we could sit here and talk for a long time. But I love all these guys, like every single one of them. I know some of them are probably, they get upset because they don't play the minutes and different things. But that's the nature of our game and what we do. We have to create a culture that is that's highly competitive but highly positive at the same time, because that's who I am. And it's a tough thing, but we just keep going until we get to where we're going. It's an absolute must. It's tough right now. This one, I don't know, going through all the different things that we've experienced this year, and we've had some ups and some downs. This one probably hurts me a little bit more than the others, just because there's finality to it. But this is the nature of the business that we've chose us.
Doug, I won't ask you to look ahead tonight, but Zach was up here a second ago just kind of talking about how you had to take over like a really tough situation, and he thinks you did a great job with the circumstances you had. How much does that mean to you as the coach to have that respect and that belief from Zach in your abilities, and how much do you just really want to? You mentioned it a second ago, but unfinished business, and feel like you really need like a full season to get a real shot at this job.
I mean, it means everything, because those guys, they see you. They're really smart, man, and you can't fool them. You might think that you're fooling them, but you can't fool them. And they see real and they see fake, and they feel real and they feel fake. And I hope all of them know I'm going to always keep it real, whether right or wrong, whatever it is. And I think that's what Zach feels more than anything. These are tough circumstances, but you buckle it up and you come in every day and you try to figure it out, and you create narratives, and you're trying to define your purpose and all the different things that come along with this job of leading men and trying to get to a common goal. It's difficult in and of itself, and then you add the circumstances and all the different things, and it's tough. But I thank them, because they came in every day. They looked me in the eye, and they knew that I wasn't playing, and I'm here to do one thing, and I think that they respected that. So when you hear that from somebody that it's almost like when you walk around the community and somebody tells you, I really love the way that you played, whatever. That's what makes it all worth it. So for me, to hear that from him is big time. I appreciate him. Appreciate y'all.
There's Doug Christie after the King season comes to an end. Damn, he was feeling it, huh?
Yeah. I mean, how could you not? Just the uncertainty of what you're feeling, the unfinished business, and then you're given this circumstance. It's just tough.
Yeah, something I had mentioned too, and I mean, this is nothing new, but like, usually when a coach gets fired, like the interim, it's not usually like in December. Ideally, it's not in December. Usually it's like later in the year or something, interim guy. I mean, I guess all that shit's out the window now because of what Memphis and Denver just did. But typically it's like, oh, it's not a good team. And the interim guy's just kind of, he's a substitute teacher. Doug had to take over a circumstance of like, no, we need you to turn the season around and like get to the play. Like we had goals of getting to the playoffs, and ultimately they did fall short. So not only come in with expectations, no camp or anything, Mike Brown's assistants. It's cool for a minute. The De'Aaron Fox thing was kind of bubbling, and then it finally bubbled over. He gets moved. Try to implement Levine on the fly. It's a bonus out. Monk, like all this shit happening, and like not an easy gig at all. Not an easy gig at all. And I feel for him, because I know you hear it in his voice how much he wanted this shit and how much it means to him. And it's just a shame that these were the circumstances that he was dealt. He ends up going 27-25 as interim head coach. So just a bummer. So, because he's a great guy. Love the guy. And I'm bummed by this entire circumstance. I feel like listening to him in that 9 minutes we just watched, I was going through the waves of emotion about the season.
Oh yeah.
Because tonight we've been angry. We laughed.
I don't even know if it's like so much. I don't feel like we've been very angry. I feel like it truly is just like, it's like pain. So sure, when you stub your toe, you can get angry. Like it's like that type of pain that is like running through our souls. And there's the people, the Kings fans,
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
You get it. And I've talked to so many of you throughout this season on the concourse about it. And they're like, they'll say like, you just get us because you're like a really Kings fan. I'm like, yeah. Like it's not, we're all just really Kings fans that truly understand each other. And there's no other, like there's fan bases that I've heard around the NBA be like, oh, I get it. Our team, there was a stretch that they didn't see the playoffs for this long or however many years. And I'm just like, this, and how many times the team has almost moved and all the different things. Like, you cannot relate to this. And that's okay. But you just can't. And this is a whole different ride we have been on through all these damn years. And then now we're back here after the ride was getting to a great point, a fun point. And we're back here. And yeah, it's tough in a small market. There's just more challenges. Just do it right.
It's worth noting, too, there was reports after the news about Monte McNair and the Kings mutually parting ways that Doug Christie called the remaining players in for a team meeting. I'm guessing to talk about the news. So,
damn,
for what that's worth. And Kings players will have their exit interviews scheduled for tomorrow. How about that? Wake up in the morning and come in.
10 a.m.
DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, Trey Lyles, Keon Ellis, Jonas Valanciunas, Jake LaRavia, Devin Carter, and Isaac Jones will speak to the media tomorrow in like a 15-minute increments. So there'll be a lot of content coming out tomorrow from those guys with some big questions looming for the Sacramento Kings. It's not just, hey, new front office, potentially new coaching staff, all those things. It's like, yeah, what's next? Like, there's no way you can run it back with this group and go, okay, just get playing, it's all good. Like, I think drastic changes have to have to happen. It's not going to be painless, but it's what's necessary when you start looking at how other teams are in this league and where the rest of the West is. Like, teams are passing you that were, I mean, you got to think about 2 years ago, OKC was behind Sacramento, right? What's San Antonio look like next year in Victor's third year with De'Aaron Fox and whatever else they decide to do if they take a swing, right? Portland, they closed the season well, gave Chauncey Billups an extension. Where are they at? I mean, Houston's already past you. Like, there's just a lot of teams that have gone through like having success, being bad for a stretch, and now are back while you got good for 1 year. So there's some really tough decisions to make with the roster, and you have to look at all options. To me, I like Keegan Murray. I think Keegan even tonight showed some amazing things defensively, busted his ass. Like I would like to have him have a more prominent role. I want to keep Keon Ellis. I want Devin. I want to have some of this youth, and I want to add more athleticism and versatility and see what that looks like. Even though that doesn't mean you're going to win much. I can't thank you guys enough for being here. We're getting a shit ton of super chat. Should we get?
Yes, we should, Deuce.
JF donates $5. Sorry for asking, Morgan. JF says, y'all take that L. Deuce and Mo are the best. Go Mavs. Appreciate the Mavs fan checking in. Donald James, appreciate you for being a member for 33 months. And thanks for making a subpar season bearable, Deuce and Mo.
Oh.
Okay, thanks. You're going to make me cry. Jacob donates $10. Thank you both for another season of coverage, jokes, and good times. Still rock until the end. We'll be here all postseason. Thank you.
Thanks.
JF also donated $2. Matthew Keys donates $5. Thank you, Deuce and Mo, for being the best part of the season and all that gift material. You make the Kings experience better. Much love. I'm glad we can.
Too
I'm glad.
kind.
I don't know if we're making it better tonight, but we're just being ourselves. CJ donates $5. Sack Kings, shaking my head, more like the Sack Burger Kings. Hold on, let's just get that set up right.
deserves
Hold
it.
on.
Yeah.
Okay. CJ donates $5. Sack Kings, shaking my head, more like Sack Burger Kings.
Where's the left track?
Sack Burger Kings. The Mavs were having it their way at the rim. Okay, you got me back. You got me back. You know what? They were having it their way. In the perimeter with the refs. Okay. You want me back?
How dare you not
Damn
read
it,
through the
dude.
whole thing?
Damn it, dude. Wanson donates $20. Without you guys, I would not even be watching this team.
Wow.
I seriously just can't anymore. The post show is the only joy I can get out of this team. Levine's contract anchors us to a crappy situation for few years. God. Well, thank you for the kind words.
That's really sweet.
That means a lot. Yeah. That we can make the season a little better by having fun on here. As far as Levine's deal, yeah, he's under contract. He's got another year and then an option year. I mean, that deal seems like one you're stuck with. So how do you maximize him? How do you have a team around him that kind of plays to his strengths more? You can't have stagnant basketball. You have to, one, get a point guard, get some athleticism, get up and down the floor, and maybe you get the best version of him. What does that mean? Yeah, I understand. Big point. What does it mean? You're pretty much stuck with him. Brooke, appreciate your support all these years, donating as well. You've been with us for a long time. Christopher, to sell the team. Vivek, he donates $2. I mean, it's just not, I don't know. You think he's going to read that and go, oh, you know what? Maybe I should. I mean, it's not, probably not happening. Anthony donates $20. Welcome one back to basketball hell, friends. Go Mavs and Heat so we can blow the 12 pick. I'm sure some generational superstar will be picked 13th. Oh, don't put that out there. Francisco donates $20. This is heading towards a rebuild. What 3 to 4 players would you keep? I guess we kind of hit on that a little bit. I mean, at this point, to say you should 100% keep anyone would be misguided. I mean, is there an untouchable? No.
There's not an untouchable.
Anybody. Would I like to keep Keegan? Yes. Keon, Devin, yes.
Yeah.
Laravia would be nice. How do you convince that guy to resign?
It's going to be tough.
Zach, Deuce and Mo, please know how much you guys mean to us. Just met you all this year, but you two are the real beams of Sacramento. Well, thank you, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Take a beer to sip a beer of that.
Cheers.
Oleg donates $10. Deuce and Mo, thank you for the season.
Thank you, Oleg.
We just were here to talk our way through it. Thanks so much, Wonton. Also donating $5. Luis, a member. PMV, how do I get something to you for your studio wall?
Okay, say that again.
Let me try that again.
Yeah. Read slower. You're going through, you're having a hard time here, bud. It's okay. You got it.
How do I get something to you for your studio? PMV, hit us up, deucemo@gmail.com.
Sweet.
Ant donates $9.99 saying, I remember during the Beam Team year, you guys said many times, cherish this. I'm so glad you emphasized that because it's truly softened the blow of this year. And I remember that season so clearly. Yeah. The amount of times I said, enjoy these moments. There's nothing like the come up, and enjoy this because you never know how long it lasts.
And we said, you'll never feel the come up again. Like you'll never feel that again. So make sure to just cherish that. Put in a little bottle and save it.
Yeah. I thought it was going to last a little longer.
Me too.
Robin, appreciate the donation of $5. Love you, Deuce and Mo. You've made the victories more fun and the losses more bearable.
Thanks.
Appreciate you so much.
You guys
Robin.
have for us. So
Keegan Murray or watch. Seriously, I didn't like that. If you don't like that, seriously, I didn't like that. Laugh my ass off. Good news is that we move enough pieces. We get offensive Keegan back. Love you guys. I'll take aggressive Keegan, please. Give him some touches. I want him taking 20 shots a game next year.
we'll get there when we get there.
Ian, time to move on, but I don't blame Monty. The Kings front office just had too many cooks in the kitchen. And that makes it hard to close key deals. Yes. I need one chef.
Yeah.
I don't need a whole bunch of. Hey, what about this?
Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay.
Actually,
that shit.
hire Gordon Ramsay as a GM. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really bad
You
Gordon
think that's a fucking player?
this? What is this? You call this a 3-and-D guy? I can't do an accent. What am I doing?
It's so bad. That was great. Awful. I loved it.
Thomas Cherry. Told you, this team has so many holes and no direction. Enjoy the playoff window while it lasted.
Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks for telling us, Thomas. Beam Dreamer donates $2 saying Royale was flying the blimp. I also says, Beam Dreamer also says, it's a beamless night, but I'll keep dreaming till next season. Thanks for everything this year, Deuce and Mo. You've made it all more fun. And Geeky Nana donates $5 as well. We just got through all the super chats, which that means the world how many of you donated.
Far
You
too
guys are
kind.
insane.
And thank you for all the sweet words too. And obviously we feel a lot of the same about you guys as well. I think one of the saddest things was texting Deuce during the game, and I could just tell how bummed he was, mostly because he kept being so excited about going to Memphis for just maybe barely 24 hours, just to be there. And he was like, I know I planned this flight super early so I can just like go get dinner and be on Beale Street and then, and then have to get to work. But like, that's what I want to do. And he was so excited about it. And I kept telling him, I'm like, hey, yo, don't pack though. Just whatever you do, don't pack until like after the podcast, because you just don't want to unpack if you have to, blah, blah. And he's like, you were so confident. And I just felt so bad about that. Not only because you were excited to just like go see a new city, you were excited about this Kings team continue. Like you had so much faith in this team. You did. And you said if they went to Memphis, you were going to pack for OKC.
Well, of course, I would be stupid because I would be, if they want, I'm just like, you have to.
I know.
They would be playing Sunday.
I felt
I'd go
like
right
you
there.
were really hopeful though.
I believed that, okay.
And
Just to be
I thought
clear,
it was sweet.
No, because I think you're painting something that's just so unfair. It's so unfair. I said if they had played like they did the previous 6 games, I like their chances. I also was like,
I did
literally
too.
at one of our previews, I was like, but both teams are below 500, and hey, we never know what we're gonna get. We never know what. But I thought they were good enough to win the next. I 100% thought if they played their best,
You're not the only one.
Yeah,
You're not the only
but
one.
I wasn't like walking around strutting like, hey, Memphis, what's up?
I never thought you were cocky. I just thought you were excited. That's all. I was
Of
just.
course. I mean, this is what, if you don't have some sort of excitement going into, like I was walking into the building today and I'm like, are you fired up? Yeah. Do you have a pulse? Of course I'm fired up. This is what life is about. Win or go home. Let's bring everything to the table and go out with a bang. I didn't think they were going to go out with a whimper like this. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not surprised by tonight at all. It's not like I'm sitting here going, I'm just under what I just saw. Some of it's like, of course, this is what happened, right? Like, this is what the year has been. Like, this year was one of the most challenging King seasons that we've dealt with, like just emotionally. And I think it's even harder when there's expectations. It's one year when there's chaos and you're just bad. And it's just like walking out of the arena tonight. The reason I get sad at the end of the season isn't because I'm like, oh, my team was a winner. They didn't win it all. It's thinking about the fact that like you're saying bye to arena workers. You're saying bye to people you work with for like 8-9 months straight, and you're grinding and you're like all in this together. You're understanding that there are some coaches that you've gotten to know the last couple of years that you may never see again.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that were there at this game tonight I will never see again. And it's just how sports works. It's just one of those things. And it's just a bummer. And then you just see like the disappointment. It was funny. I was getting ready to go on post game with you, Kyle, and Katie, and I'm waiting to go on. And there's like all these fans who want to take a picture with me. I'm just like, hey, just tell people this picture is before the game. I'm just like smiling in it. I'm like, I don't want to smile right now. This smile is the fakest fucking smile I've ever had in my life. I'm like this. I'm like, yeah, take a picture. Yeah, let's go.
Just
go
tell
Kings.
people this was before the game. That is so funny. So funny. Yeah, I had a good time at the game in the beginning because my parents got to go to the game and there was no one sitting next to them for 3 quarters. 3 quarters. I got to sit next to my parents. And it was just, I had a blast. I cherished those moments. And even when the Kings were doing shitty, it was like, we were just like, oh God, no, not this again, you know, and just kind of having fun with it. And then once I had to leave them because people were coming to their seat, is just when it really got shitty. The game, my joy, everything. And so I felt super lucky to have them there because it was very calming for me for some reason. So anyway,
You sat with your parents for 3 quarters?
Yeah.
I haven't sat with mine for 3 minutes of my life. You know?
You're so stupid.
That's like, you know, that's probably what makes, yeah.
What?
This team, dude, so stupid. I'll just never forget the day that Mike Brown started 0-4 as head coach. That was the night my grandma died, and I still did a podcast. What an idiot. I say bye to my grandma, and then it's like, hey, we are live. Kings are 0-4. And there's something I said that night that it's so poetic. It was like, there have been 2 constants in my life.
Wait, 2 what?
2 constants in my life.
Yeah.
My grandma and the Kings sucking. And it's just like, here we are, like this 3 years later, and it's like, yeah, constants in my life, like,
I know.
lack of stability.
We need her to come back to life
Why?
and die again because that was the year that the Kings went to the playoffs.
I could have been born in like Boston or something.
Kate, you know what's weird? I had this conversation with someone else tonight. They said, why did our parents all birth us in Sacramento? Like, why? And I'm like, well, and they were like, they were like, I can never jump ship and like be,
never.
And of course not. And I'm like, yeah, and this is how it is, so deal with it. You know, it's like one of those things like, it is what it is. Like it's in your blood. You're stuck with it. So
Yeah.
find a way to deal with it.
But man, when it's good, it feels so good. Polo says, insane that this team beat the Cavs and Celtics this year. Oh, and they swept the Rockets.
And they did fantastic
They swept
against
the
the
Rockets.
Pistons this last game.
My
Yeah.
God, dude.
Yep.
Insane. Quick shout to our sponsors throughout the year too, by the way.
Oh my God.
Just give it up. First of all, you guys are huge in supporting us, and that makes local people want to support us too. The partnerships we had this year. Shout out to Sentivo Vineyards and Winery. Give it up. Yes.
And they're going to continue with us through the NBA playoffs and everything as well. Super excited about Sentivo. Love them.
Give some love, of course, to Golden One Credit Union.
Oh, Golden One, G1C.
We're all one at Golden One. Shout earlier this year, the Mother.
Oh, fantastic
They were
restaurant.
with us earlier this
Good
year. That
people.
was big. Shout out to Medic Ambulance. Appreciate their support coming on. Shout out to Northwest Exteriors. The last couple of years with them.
Hey. It's a window.
So really cool to have so much support this year.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we couldn't do it without them. Couldn't do it without you guys.
Someone says Turtle Beach was here for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. We were trying some new things with a few sponsors.
Shout out to some of those, come and go. Shout out to Mando, by the way, if you don't want to stink.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, give that to the
Shopmando.com.
Kings.
Yeah, they need some 72 game production. Or 82.
We get it.
72 hour. Use GM Pod at shopmando.com.
Give me a hell yeah.
Anyway. So this offseason is going to be fascinating. I guess it's great for content because we'll be following what the Kings decide to do with the front office, the aftermath of that. I'm sure more stuff will come out about like what happened with Monte at the end, and what they decide to do in the coaching search. And there's some pretty talented coaches available too, if you look outside of Doug Christie. And that's the other thing tonight, like just to be completely transparent. I mean, in my opinion, if you're hiring a new front office, your new front office should have the right to bring in the person they believe should lead, right? Is that new front office let's be real about this, is that new front office going, Doug Christie's the guy? Probably not. Probably not. And so you start thinking about other names that are out there. Taylor Jenkins. Hey, Michael Malone. Michael Malone, Mike Budenholzer are kind of like the so-called retreads out there. I'm sure we'll hear Mark Jackson's name again.
Yep.
And then like what other candidates could be out there that are
Like
on the younger side,
assistants.
assistant coaches, maybe first timers. And I think part of it too is like, what direction are you trying to go with this? I mean, if you go younger, are you more apt to go with a younger name? If you're, what are you trying? I think there are just so many that's what makes it tough right now. Is like, it's not like, hey, you got a veteran team, you're bringing in this guy or this person.
I don't even. Yeah. It's so hard to even like process this right now, but it's so true. It's like probably processing this tomorrow, like tomorrow, us talking after all the player exit interviews.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. We'll have more content all week long and throughout this offseason too about this stuff. But yeah, it's a tough one tonight. And you have to be open-minded to everything. I mean, new front office, you would think it'd have a new vision. They're going to have a different idea of how they want to construct the team. And I'm guessing they would want a team that is a little more to today's strengths in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone wants like 3-and-D people and switchable defenders. You have to find the right guys. It's hard. I get that, but that's a challenge. Is how to figure that out. What a year, man! I know we did some reflecting after the final regular season game, but thinking about like this journey, like think about the high we felt when they signed DeMar DeRozan. July 6th. Showed up at the California Classic.
Thought it was going to be change.
That's one where I was like, I was convinced. I'm like, dude, that's an upgrade over Harrison Barnes. It's not perfect, but like having another guy that can go get a bucket. And he got buckets, but like it just never totally flowed the right way. You know, even when Fox was there, it was just they couldn't find consistency with the pace and style of play. I thought he was going to be able to adapt to that better, and he just never did. He still got buckets. He still was able to score and take over games at times. And for sure, I mean, hell, tonight in the third quarter, he had 15 points. You're like, okay, he's getting to his spots. But it didn't flow all the time. And then defensively, I think it was even worse than I thought it would be. And I didn't think it was particularly good, but I didn't think Harrison was either. But Harrison was also taller.
Yeah.
And,
And I mean, yeah, the defense for both these guys, you know, people wanted to break down, criticize for a fair reason, but then there's just some other times with DeMar this season, it was like super apparent where I think even you and we were breaking down a lot of his defensive plays once the Kings were signing him. And we're like, look, he has good instinct. He can get and he can. He has these moments, but you can't just have moments.
he's
You
also
have to have-
36.
You have to have full games.
Yeah.
You know, and it just wasn't there.
Aldrin in the chat says, y'all were that hyped after signing DeMar? I question that fit since day one. No, I think people question the fit. I just thought this team needed another guy that can go get a bucket. And I thought, okay, if you can add pieces around them to like make up for maybe some of the defensive issues that may happen. But they didn't. You know, it was like that was their offseason. They add DeMar DeRozan. It wasn't until like they addressed some of the size issues at the deadline when they signed LaRavia, who we saw glimpses of.
Love.
Okay, cool. And Valanciunas, like guys that they probably could have just gotten over the offseason. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
But think about the moment they signed that, the excitement that came.
Yeah.
And then you go to before opening night, dude. I am so grateful that we did that live show at Harlow's. That was so fun.
And that is why we did it before the season too, because you never know what it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, and I loved it because, I mean,
there's hope.
We were all excited for the season, and it's like, you know, there was a purpose to this live show than just like, hey, we're doing a live show before the season. No. It was like, let's all fucking celebrate this hope together and where this season could go. And that's where it went.
Yeah, started with that loss to the T-Wolves on opening night. You think about some of the low points throughout that year. There are some high points too. That game where De'Aaron scored 108 points in 2 games. Of course, they lost one of those games in overtime, that 60-point game. But like him just getting to a spot, it was just so nasty. And like at that time, going, "Oh my God, are we witnessing like him rising to another level?" And like, what could this mean when healthy? And if they make some tweaks. But it felt like from the jump, it felt a little similar to last year where we're like, hey, they need size bad. And they just never addressed it till the deadline.
Yeah.
But like some of those high points, the low point of like when Fox started to make noise on Draymond's pod,
Mm-hmm.
Rich Paul coming to town, Mike Brown getting fired for that Pistons game. You know, a month later, Fox gets traded after winning 7 in a row. And then after that, there weren't a ton of highs post-trade deadline. Like there were glimpses of like, oh, hey, Levine got it going here. But then like there were so many guys in and out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Just tough.
Never could find the consistency.
Man.
Sucked.
And it just
That's where we are.
goes by so fast. It goes by so fast, even though like there was so much that happened. Someone in the chat has just posted something. We got an update here. I did not mean to hit that one.
Sure.
This is from Sam Amick, Anthony Slater. An update on Monte McNair. Less than an hour after the Kings' disappointing 40-win season ended in a blowout loss to the Mavs at home, GM Monte McNair met with Kings owner Vivek Ranadive in a back room of the arena, and the two sides mutually agreed to part ways. How do you think those things go?
Hey, can you come back here for a sec?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, so look. This isn't the way we wanted things to end. You agree? So we can agree to mutually.
I think we mutually agree on this shit.
Wait,
dude.
are we about to say the same thing at the same time?
Sure.
What are we going to say at the same time? We mutually agree.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
We mutually agree to part ways.
To part ways, shit.
Anyway. Okay. We do have our first name.
Yeah.
League sources say Scott Perry, who was the Kings' VP of basketball operations for 3 months in 2017 before being hired away as the Knicks GM, is expected to receive strong consideration for the job and is considered a front runner. For those who don't remember Scott Perry was with the Kings for a few months. This was prior to the draft, I believe the De'Aaron Fox draft, where they were able to get guys to actually work out for them during the draft process, something that they really had struggled with in the past. And then he ultimately moved on fast to take a greater role with the New York Knicks organization. Before that, he was with Orlando. He's a well-connected guy. He's a sharp guy. A little surprising that we're hearing that name being recirculated as someone that was here in 2017. And Sam Amick, Anthony Slater, saying that Scott Perry is going to receive strong consideration for the job. Consider the front runner. Perry, whose 25-year front office career has included time with the Pistons, Sonics, Magic, had a strong working relationship with Ron Adibe during his Sacramento stint, worked closely with then GM Vlade Divac. Former Denver Nuggets GM Calvin Booth is also expected to be given consideration, league sources said. Booth, who was fired by the Nuggets recently, along with Michael Malone, previously interviewed for the Kings before they hired McNair in the summer of 2020. While Divac continues to have a presence and voice around the team, including with Ron Adibe, team sources say he will not be returning in any formal capacity to the team's front office.
Yeah, and that was something that was not said in the last piece. So
the next GM is expected to have influence on the Kings' ultimate choice for head coach. But interim coach Doug Christie is well positioned to keep the job, team sources said, though Christie said he has not been given any firm assurances. Okay, right here, guys. This is what we're talking about.
Say that sentence again.
The next GM is expected to have influence on the Kings' ultimate choice for head coach, but interim coach Doug Christie is well positioned to keep the job.
Oh.
Again, be careful with this. Your front office should be making the decision. Okay? To say they have influence, they better have influence. They are running the basketball operations. Got to be careful with this. The McNair departure concludes a 5-year tenure as a team's GM. Blah, blah, blah. They kind of recap that and then recap the season. Appearing to lose decision-making power within the franchise, McNair agreed to the departure. League sources say McNair, who spent 13 years in Houston before joining the Kings, could return to the Rockets in a front office role with general manager and his close friend and former coworker, Raphael Stone. He also has close ties and possible prospects in Philadelphia, where former Rockets president of basketball operations Daryl Morey runs the Sixers front office. McNair addressed Kings players in the locker room not long after their elimination on Wednesday night, speaking with a bigger picture view about the future. The players were informed not too long after that he was no longer leading the franchise's front office. So, the two names at this point, Scott Perry, Calvin Booth, have been mentioned. We'll find out in the days to come who else could be mentioned. I said this earlier in the pod. Let your front office cook. If you're hiring Scott Perry, you're hiring Calvin Booth, whoever you hire, let the person pick the head coach. It's imperative. It doesn't mean you don't have input. It doesn't mean you have suggestions. But the decision maker, the person in charge, needs to make that decision. Buckle up, huh? What's going through your mind?
I don't know. I'm just a lot. Just a lot. I'm not. I mean, I guess it's better that it's happening right now than it is in like a week from now.
That they've started the process, you're saying?
Just everything. Yeah. Just all of it. All of the shit. All of it. And it's just a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's these things just aren't easy.
No.
And we've been through it so many times. It's just like, it's
okay, show me
challenging.
what you got. Like, show me what I don't even care. Because like even with Monte McNair, even when I see like, oh, you know, you can go to Philly. And then like if Philly starts turning things around with him there or some shit, you know,
like him involved or Houston.
And what kills me, it's like, why? You saw some of the sentences and how they were structured in that piece by Sam and Slater, and it was just like, you know, where as soon as he was starting to lose like power or say or whatever the shit it was said, it was like he decided, yeah, let's mutually part ways. Because it's like, I want to do my job and I want to do it the right way, or it's like, no, we're cool because I can go do my job somewhere else. And then if he got to do his job somewhere else and then it like was successful, then I'll be pissed.
I mean, you just have to have like a legitimate front office search and a legitimate coaching search. And
Yeah.
and people will go, well, why? If you know who you want. No. You talk to coaches because you get ideas. You build relationships. And you never know what you're going to learn or hear in these conversations. I don't know. That's the type of stuff, right? Like we need, like talk to people.
Talk to everyone. Always talk. You learn so much. Talk.
You just can't keep making the same mistakes over and over and over again. You know,
Otherwise,
I
it's
would
just a habit.
like. I know Bob Myers is not the perfect GM, but what I know about Bob Myers, he's well connected. He's respected. He was an agent. He played.
Broadcaster.
He dealt with like chaos and championship times and adversity with major injuries and the departures of key talent, and dealt with a very demanding owner in Joe Lacob. What does he want? And maybe he wouldn't want this job.
Maybe.
But that's the other issue if he doesn't want this job. Like, give someone like that full autonomy. It's like, let him cook. You know, like, that's why I'd be talking to someone like Bob Myers. What do you want, $15 million a year? I don't care. I'll give you $15 million a year because we're trying to win and build something out here. And there's no cap when it comes to the front office. And he's not the only name out there. I'm sure you could, like, hit up teams that have done it the right way. Like, does OKC have someone in their front office, right? That you like, the Cavs. Think about some of these good teams. Boston. Like, think about the teams. Like, is there someone you could snag from there and make? But the other thing that the Kings have gotten in the habit in this era has been first-time GMs. Pete D'Alessandro, Vlade Divac, and Monte McNair. Do you go with someone with more experience? Well, Bob Myers fits that. And I know he's like, why would he take that? Well, here's why here's my pitch to Bob Myers from Deuce Mason.
Pitch, go.
Pay you a shit ton. We'll give you full autonomy. And guess what? If it doesn't work, it's not going to tarnish your legacy. You're already going to be a Hall of Famer based on what you did with the Warriors. If it doesn't work, everyone's going to say, oh, it's Sacramento. Of course it didn't work. And if it does work, you are going to get a statue built at Golden One Center and in San Francisco.
And we won't use, what's his name, statue creator?
What's his name?
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah. And you're a California guy. Stay home, man.
Stay home.
Stay home. Well, we got a lot to process over the next week or so. I mean, for sure the next week, weeks to come, months to come. And we're going to be here along the way. Man, it's been a frustrating year. Let's get to some final thoughts. We have to turn around and go get player stuff
Final
tomorrow.
thoughts. Congratulations to the Stockton Kings. They were celebrated tonight for their G League championship. And I think a lot of people like to make jokes about the G League and everything because it's obviously not the NBA. I love it for the future of development within this organization, but I also just have so much respect and love for the G League, what it's done for our careers, the opportunities that it's given us within our dream positions. And I'm just so proud to be a part of the Stockton Kings in that way. And I'm just so proud of what they were able to accomplish this year. So I just really wanted to end on a positive for me.
That's nice.
Because I need that for my fucking soul.
My final thoughts, I echo you with what you just said with Stockton for sure.
Duh.
But Kings fans, hang in there. It's tough. It's a bummer. And I don't say it lightly. Like, I do believe like this fan base is beyond special. Everything that you went through, that not only this year, but your entire time as being a Kings fan, you wouldn't have known it at tip-off tonight. In that first quarter when Valanciunas had some nice defense and the other way, Carter hits a corner three, places exploded, and you're just like, dude, you feel it. Like there was like hope and belief. And these fans have just been unbelievable. And they don't ask for much. Like think about like the shit that they have had to deal with this year. And they're still engaged. They're passionate.
Oh, yeah.
They're at games. And tonight there were
ringing cowbells until the end.
There were 17,900 people at the game tonight.
Yeah.
Not because all those people are like, dude, I totally believe in everything going forward. It's like, no, this is my team. It's my city. We're playing for something. I'm going to be here tonight. And so, yeah, I mean, I hang in there. And we're going to get through this together because guess what? We've done it before.
Yeah.
And we'll do it again. And there's going to be some highs down the road. I'm not going to sit here and promise you win, but you just don't. This can't be like this forever. It just can't be. It just can't. It's literally impossible. You have missed the playoffs 18 of 19 years. I guess it can't.
We say that.
I know,
so
but
weird.
that's all I can hang on to. And that's why I say enjoy the good times, please. Enjoy them when they're here. Because when it's gone, it's this. It's this. And we got a little taste of it. And for 8 years, during prime years of my life, I got a great taste of it when there was hope of this team actually winning a championship. Like that was a thing. So, hey man, sometimes with sports, I say it's never as good as it seems and it's never as bad as it seems. And so I hope tonight it's not as bad as it seems. And I appreciate you guys, man. You guys mean the world to us. The support you guys have given us the last 5 years doing this podcast. We did it after every single game.
You definitely make it worth it.
You do. And we thank you. And here's one thing I'll say. I'm never going to lose my fucking passion. Okay. You're never, even if this team sucks, I am going to love basketball. And maybe I'm just trying to pump myself up right now.
No.
And believe that. But
no.
The one thing I won't lose is my passion. And the reality is I want what you want. I want this team to have fun and win games and put out a good product.
You're not pumping yourself up. It's real.
I'm not asking for a championship every year.
I know.
I'm not.
I know.
Right? But we don't lose our passion, and you don't either. You guys are basketball sickos, and so are we. We love you guys, but we gots to go.
You all have a wonderful rest of your evening. We'll be seeing you this week. See ya.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.